going to kick it over to them.
All right. Woo! All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm freeland1787. I'm a NES Castlevania speedrunner, so I do Castlevania 1, 2, and 3. This run will be Castlevania 1 any %, the first game in the entire series. This game has a few frame-perfect tricks and out-of-bounds skip, but for the most part, it's a very manageable run.
Right.
You got anyone
we get a countdown on the couch here.
Hi, I'm that one nice guy, and
He'll be doing Super Castlevania 4
tomorrow,
a little bit later. I'm TurboDog702. I'm mostly known for Soden, but I've been dabbling in a lot of Castlevania.
Yeah, I'm Cyphrin. I run Super Castlevania 4 pretty poorly, but I run it.
Better than me. All right, so let's begin this.
All right, timer's going to start when he gains control. And now.
Go.
good luck, dude.
So funny enough, the optimizations begin on screen 1, as this small jump here just lets you enter the door just a tiny bit earlier than you might expect. So for those of you that have never seen a Castlevania game before, something that's very crucial to this series and something that you need to plan for when you're talking about speedruns is jumping. So when you jump in this game, unlike other games, you have no control over your height, and once you commit to your jump direction, you are staying in it. If you jump straight up, you're staying straight up. If you're going left, you're going left, right, right. You cannot change while you're doing it. So because of that, during the course of this run, Freeland is going to have to pay attention exactly where he's jumping and be very deliberate with that.
All right, we got the freeze. Let's see if we get the skip. We got it.
Nice.
Nice.
So that skips the entire underground area of the first stage. If you've seen previous GDQs, a lot of times people will wait for the bat at the stairs to spawn and then get the same boost. However, there have been innovations that allow us to manipulate the stopwatch drop that Freeland has, and that lets you get the skip just a little bit earlier than you normally would without it. So now we're coming up to the first stage boss. Freeland's going to be going for a glitch here.
Nice.
Sick! All right.
Very nice.
Good job.
So that is a critical attack. So what a critical attack is if any enemy, but it's mostly for bosses, hits you on the same frame that you hit it with the whip, you cause like a damage glitch that carries over. For the purposes of the first boss, it just completely destroys them, just insta-jibs. But for other bosses later on, we will see that it does a huge amount of damage. So,
Also, one thing to note, the backwards jump is when you press the opposite direction and the jump button at the same time for anyone watching at home.
So you might see a little bit of variety of sub-weapons in this, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, the only sub-weapon you won't see in this run is the dagger, because we got the stopwatch in stage 1.
so there's been different iterations of this run, especially over the last 2 years or so. For example, coming up at the Medusa boss at the end of the stage, it wasn't uncommon a couple years ago for people to come in here with the cross to carry it over into the mummy fight on the next stage. However, people have been starting to, well, some time ago, have started to implement the holy water on the Medusa in order to allow for a slightly faster fight. Here comes another damage boost. Nice.
And when you have the double shot with the holy water, you can create an indefinite stun lock while you whip away. See that on multiple bosses in this game.
So something that you will see as kind of a common theme throughout Castlevania is these vertical damage boosts, which kind of push you through the upper platform. So now we're going to have a Medusa fight, and hopefully Holy Water is just going to make short work of this boss. So I got a little bit of a sloppy thing there, but that's alright. We're moving on our way. So as you can see there, Holy Water does a number of things for this run. It stun locks enemies, it keeps them from moving. It also removes their collision box, so you can actually walk through enemies that are stun locked by Holy Water. In addition, it does a pretty substantial amount of damage. Speaking like kind of the very casual sense too, a lot of the sub-weapons in this game attack certain vectors of the screen that Simon cannot attack normally. His whip only goes 2 directions and it's rather short, so having that kind of downward arc can be kind of beneficial in some parts of the game. So See, like, it allows it to kill the crow there and make it so that it's no longer a threat. Just very little subtle things that you don't really even think about until, you know, you try to play the game normally. And then you're like, wait a minute.
So very briefly, Freeland's going to be using this axe for only a couple seconds here just to get the cross and to hopefully get either rosary or potion upstairs.
Unfortunately, the last screen dropped the potion, so I won't be able to pick it up, even if I get the manipulation correct.
Yeah, there are certain manipulations that you can do so that this crow drops a invincibility item, so it makes this screen considerably easier. So
Well,
these jumps over these bone pillars are a lot more difficult than you might think.
Not dying is an achievement in itself.
And
I had just enough iframes to walk through the first one.
staying kind of quiet because this is a bit of a nail biter for a screen. Wow, that crow had it out for you.
Birds are jerks.
They're jerks.
Always.
Birds are the natural predator of the speedrun.
Mhm.
Alright, so we're going to have to do a little bit of improvisation here. Had we had the cross going into the mummy fight, we would have been able to initiate a damage glitch on them. But now Freeland's got to play some honest Castlevania now.
And unfortunately, I've taken too much damage in the recovery, so
So he's taking a
this
fair
fight
amount of...
could be a literal struggle for survival.
Yeah, oftentimes if you don't have the cross, this becomes a real slugfest.
And here comes another one.
Nice. Alright. Yeah, so that degenerates very quickly into just slugging it out with the bosses. Luckily, there is that kind of safety meat on the left side of the screen to kind of help out with that.
Even that was almost enough. So stage 4 is an out-of-bounds skip. If you want to tell more about it.
So what Freeland is going to attempt to do is he's going to use a strat where he's going to whip with certain timing in order to get himself on a certain range of luck in the game. He's then going to use a pause to be able to kind of check for certain cues inside the background and manipulate that spawn of that bat. So it was a little too low there. Ideally, if you can get it to work, you can boost into the roof here, into the cave walls. It's still pretty difficult to pull off, even with the strategies we have available. But that's okay, you know, you just kind of roll up here, continue on through the cave. So the next screen is going to be another kind of one that looks very easy at face value until it goes extremely wrong. So what we are hoping for is to deal with these harpies and these fleamen, or these hunchbacks in this game, without them dropping an axe. So please no axe. Ideally without dropping a billion hearts also.
Too late. I got two already.
Nice little stun there on the dragon to keep him from moving. We're also going to have a little manipulation here to get past this bone dragon without any damage, so that would be pretty sweet. He's too scared of Simon. He didn't want any piece of it.
Didn't want any of that.
So once again, we're going to see Holy Water kind of carrying the day here against Frank and Igor. Basically a buddy cop.
Yeah.
Ooh, close.
Nice.
No
Close up.
Indiana Jones on this run.
Alright, so the game's difficulty is going to ramp up substantially here. From here on out, Freeland's going to be taking 4 pips of damage with every hit that he takes, which means that health budgeting is extremely crucial, especially in a stage where we're going to see significant damage boosting. Nice guy, you want to kind of talk about some of the things that are going to be occurring in this stage?
Alright, so number 1, don't lose the holy water at all. Number 2, get a couple damage boosts from this Fleeman here, and another one hopefully from get something called like a fast bone where this skeleton's gonna throw a bone right here. Okay, that's a little slow right there, but still he got another
Nice
damage
damage
boost
boost, though. Back up.
And number 3, don't screw up the death fight.
Yeah, most important.
Don't pick up the knife either.
Yeah.
That's another... It's easy to kind of get complacent as you're running this and be like, oh, I'm just going to whip candles for the fun of it. And then you're like, wait a minute.
Some safety meat there, nothing wrong with getting that.
Daggers in this stage are your result of drops, not candles.
So this particular screen is actually relatively tight on
Nice.
timing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So the amount of invincibility you get there is kind of just enough to sneak your way past and get up the stairs. So that's nice. Little intricacy here. He wants to be careful as he throws this holy water not to go up the stairs. Just little things, you know, that again you don't really think of when you've done thousands of attempts at a game, but it's the key to making some of these sections work correctly. There's a good example of being able to walk through an enemy's collision with the
Yeah,
holy water.
usually these axe knives takes about 10 hits with the whip, but with the holy water you can just walk right through them. No problem.
Alright, so we're going to get to have an opportunity to see what type of risk Freeland wants to take here. Alright, so Freeland's going to go without getting the safety meat here. If everything goes well, Death is not going to stand a chance, despite the fact that he only has 2 pips of health. So, let's get a nice stun lock here. Okay.
Knew it was going to happen too. I was practicing the crap out of the strat.
Let's get this hitless death fight.
Oh.
So close. Alright. So, some intricacies when it comes to using just the whip or other weapons of that fight. You'll notice that there's the 2 lower areas on either side of the death fight. Those are actually death traps. You might be tempted to go down there in order to avoid some of these scythe strikes, but that would be a enormous tactical mistake. Because what happens is he traps you in with a variety of sides, and then you have to hope that they come at you at a position where you can attack them. And especially when your only option for weapons here is the cross, it becomes a little bit more difficult on that. See these razor-sharp reflexes here, though. So this is what the night hallway looks like in a little bit more of a traditional sense. And I mean, this is all about patience and just kind of paying attention to where the threats are coming from at any given time. And I mentioned how paying attention to your jump arc and really understanding how far you're going to go, how high you're going to jump, that's where it really pays off. Nice.
Nice.
All right.
When those sights are flying around, that fight is scary as hell. Actually, I won't say that last word.
It's all right.
No, you're fine.
Do we have time for a couple donations real quick?
Yeah, we're going to be just crossing over this bridge with some of the Stage 1 boss, who's now a chump. So if you want to go ahead and toss him in, go for it.
All right, we have $25 from Kajong0007 who says, time for Freeland to wreck Dracula's castle. Good luck. And we also have an anonymous $20 donation. Thank you to both of those. And yeah, make sure to head on over to Calithon.com. We've got lots of incentives we'd love to meet, get some more content in the stream later on for you. We also have some prizes you can win, minimum donation amounts throughout the weekend. Head on over to Calithon.com or click the link below the stream in our panels. Check out all that info.
That bat was a jerk.
Yep. Bats and birds.
Like,
That was
another
actually my fault.
another Castlevania under Comrade Control has told me that that can happen. And I'm just like, that seems like the most just terrible thing ever, that the bat just decides he wants to hit you. That makes it a lot harder on the health budgeting for taking the damage boost in the next 2 screens. So. Whoa. Alright, alright.
Okay, that was a close one.
Too close.
Listen, put those Fleeman and Soten, because they're going out of bounds all over. Alright, so we're going to have the Dracula fight coming up here. movement's very deliberate here in this first screen because we're trying to manipulate certain drag patterns to occur. And that's going to help Freeland to kind of time out some of these things. Look for the possibility of crits in this fight as well for taking damage and hitting him at the same time.
Bad pattern.
Okay, get ready on time here. It's not going to be on death.
It's gonna be on orb.
Yeah. Yo, get out of here, Drag.
Yeah.
You ready? And
Time.
Freeland, any thoughts? Any shout outs you want to give?
Everything went wrong and we still beat the estimate.
Are you just keeping us on the edge of our seats? It was phenomenal, man. It was good.
Yeah, like I said, NES games always look so easy when you see, like, you know, PBs and world records and stuff, and then you actually get in there and start doing attempts or, like, are forced to finish runs. And, like, that's when you really get to see the real mettle of some runners and just how many strategies they know and have inside their toolkit.
Gotta love these credits names here.
They'll Universal Classics spin on the Universal Classic names. Or actors or stuff.
You know, shout outs to the whole, like, CV1 cabal that's been working on this game the past 2 years especially, and really just taking what was, like, a really, really, really solid run and just actually still finding improvements to it.
Sorry guys, no second quest.